What's up, guys? LQ here with the LQ review. I just saw the new John Cena action movie called Freelance. And let me say this. I'm of two minds on this movie. Thought number one is, it objectively looking at it, I can't say that it was a great movie, but it's also the type of movie that I want to see more of. I want to see more movies like this. So the movie is John Cena plays a former Army Ranger who is unhappy in his life. He's retired and he's in a unhappy marriage and he's in an unhappy civilian job and he's just not happy with the way his life is played out. And he's got the opportunity to take a private security job for a reporter, for a journalist who's going to interview the dictator of a country. A dictator who he believes was responsible for having some of his men killed back when he was still in the army. So he takes a job to protect her, and they get there into this country, and she's getting ready to interview the dictator, and there's a coup in the country, and an assassination attempt on the dictator's life. And John Cena ends up in a situation where he's protecting not just the reporter, but the dictator who he believes, like I said, was responsible for killing his men a couple years earlier. The action in this movie is competent. It's well shot. It's fun. It's engaging. There's definitely some comedy to it. One thing that John Cena does really well is he's got some pretty good comedic timing. I've always felt that. You go back to some of the comedy roles that he's taken on, to even things like Peacemaker and the Suicide Squad. He definitely has some good comedic timing, and those skills are definitely on display here. Alison Brie plays the reporter, and Alison Brie is an actress who's never really been on my radar. I somebody who I know about. I've seen her in some things, but I never really thought that she was all that great of an actress. She was really good in this. I really enjoyed her performance in this film. It was a little shaky in the beginning. There was some lines that she delivered in the beginning that I felt was kind of lines that were being read. But as the movie went on, I feel like she got more comfortable in the role. Now, obviously, I don't know what order the scenes were filmed. Maybe those scenes that she was reading were filmed last. I don't know. But as the movie progressed, I enjoyed the performance more and more. I really felt like I said, that she got more comfortable in the role. And yeah, I enjoyed it. So she's definitely an actress that's on my radar now, and I'll be paying attention to future roles that she's in. Juan Pablo Raba plays the dictator, and this is a guy who just oozes he oozes confident swagger. He's somebody who definitely I can tell why he was cast to play a role like this, but he just has a lot of charisma, and he might be the character that I enjoyed the most in this film, because I found his performance to be very endearing. I found his character, not to spoil too much here, but I found his character to be very endearing. And he, again, kind of like Alison Brie, he's somebody that if he pops up in something in the future, I'm going to be paying a lot more attention to. John Cena does here what John Cena does, very competent action, and some pretty funny lines, one-liners, and some, like I said, some good comedic timing. The movie itself might have been 10 minutes too long. I felt like towards the end of the movie, there's this action scene where they're kind of they're in they're in a palace, and they're bouncing around from one room to another, and trying to get away from this invading army. And I really felt like that could have been trimmed some. It felt like there was an end, and then it just kept on going. And then maybe there was an end, and then it kept on going. So I do feel like the movie might have been just a tad too long, especially for the type of movie that it is. This movie definitely reminds me a lot of 80s action films. A lot of gunplay, some one-liners, and just a lot of good action in this. And that being said, I would love to see more movies like this. Not every movie needs to be a big $250 million, big budget, spectacle epic. You know, some movies, it's okay to have those movies that are your smaller budget action films. I feel the same way about smaller budget comedies and smaller budget, even things like romantic comedies. You know, there's a place in the market for these. And studios just aren't investing in them a lot anymore. And guess what? This is opening day and I was here in an empty theater. Nobody's going to go see it. Nobody's going to go see it because we've been conditioned to see the big $250 million budgeted epic films. And these smaller budget action films and comedy films and things like that, we're not conditioned to see them in the theaters anymore. We're conditioned to see these things on streaming. So yeah, nobody's going to go see this in the theater, but I think this is the type of movie that's going to find an audience when it hits streaming, probably in 17 days, because that's pretty much the window now for movies like this. Nobody's going to go see it. It's not going to make any money, so it's going to be on streaming in 17 days. And I think that's too bad, because I think that movies like this have a place in our entertainment. So was it great? No, I can't say it was a great movie. No, I mean, it was a generic action film, but guess what? There's a place for generic action films to exist. I had a good time. I was entertained. You know, like I said, objectively, I'm not going to say this is the best movie of the year or anything like that, because it's not. It's not even close. It won't even make my top 10 this year. But I had fun watching it. And isn't that what movies are about? A little escapism, where we can go, sit down, have a little fun watching something that's a little silly, or it doesn't even have to be silly. It can be something that just takes us out of reality for a little bit. And this movie did that for me. I didn't check my watch during this film. I just watched it and I just enjoyed it. So good movie? No, probably not, but fun, entertaining, and I would recommend seeing it simply because I would like to see more movies like this out there. It was better than The Expendables 4. All right, guys. Are any of you planning on seeing Freelance? Do any of you even know that Freelance was a thing? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. All right, guys. Thanks for visiting the LQ Review.